Nope.
Gather together. 349. 349.
All right, so
tune goes
I
something
think,
like this.
can anybody hear me over the speakers? Okay. Sing our praise to the life that we
That we what?
bear. Bear.
That we bear.
That we bear.
Life that we bear.
That
Okay.
we bear.
All right. Well, while they're still working, let's rise up. We'll give that a good old college try. Everyone, rise up. Let's go
Rise
through
up
here.
and body your spirits.
Does that mean this is not working?
No, it's not. I don't think this one is either.
Here we go.
We gather, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share. Both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. We sing a hymn of praise to the life that we bear. We gather together to join in the journey, confirming, committing our passage to be a true affirmation in joy and tribulation, when bound to human care and love, then we are free.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
That was good. All right.
I think we're still working on the mics.
I think we're still
so-
working.
We're still working or we've given up.
Okay, no problem. Well, the next little bit of new musicality that I'd love to draw your attention to is we have a nice trumpet player. Athena Wilson has very nicely jumped in and asked to do trumpet. And of course, the trumpet was a gift from Tom Mead. And you'll be able to hear her on some of the stuff, hopefully, for a long time. You want to try another hymn?
Yeah, she doesn't need a mic.
No.
No, we haven't.
What? I don't know.
How about we go on and if we suddenly get really loud, then.
Yeah, that's fine.
All righty, so how well can everyone hear me? Raise your hand if you can. That is perfect for me. Thank you very much. So we have sung our opening hymn now. Thank you all for joining us in on that. And let us all remember that gratitude holds us together, even as we're falling apart. That it's our monthly theme for the November here, and that was a quote from Saraben Brethnak. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Petra, and I am your one of your two worship associates this morning on this beautiful Sunday morning. We are having such fantastic weather. We welcome you into this sanctuary where we celebrate diversity and learn from one another no matter our differences in order to deepen our connection and transform the world with love. Let us begin our worship with these opening words by myself, Jen Dean, and ChatGPT. The closing words will be by the same, so I'm not going to announce it later. Welcome. We gather today in a world that feels stretched and strained. Many of us arrive holding the news of the week in our bodies, the grief of injustice, the uncertainty of our country's future, the losses that don't always have words. We come here not as finished products, but as people in process, as people who know something of fracture, as people familiar with what the sermon calls the brokenness of us, the ways we fall short or fall apart or simply feel overwhelmed by the times we're living in. Yet we still gather. Because our brokenness is not the end of the story. It is part of the story, the part that makes compassion possible, the part that teaches us how much we need one another, the part that reminds us abundance is not measured by perfection or certainty, but by how we continue to show up, how we continue to hold each other, how we continue to choose care. May we open our hearts to the fullness of being human today, to the cracks and the beauty, the sorrow and the resilience, the questions and the quiet courage of continuing. We begin here together.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Jen Dean. I am most of the time your board chair, but today I am your worship associate, and my pronouns are they, them. And I am going to do the call to community, which will be a little popcorn because we don't have anything written down, but we got ideas. Love plus connection equals transformation. What does this mean? It means that we want you to root yourselves in love and connect with others so we can transform ourselves and this world towards harmony and beauty. One of the things for specific dates and events, we don't have an order of service today. We are just going to lead you and guide you to the newsletter that will come out in your email on Monday. But we do have some random things we'd like to talk about this morning. One of them being 2 times in this past week, people have come to church and found doors unlocked. And we don't know, we're not trying to place blame. We're not trying to be like, we need to not have doors unlocked. So whoever comes on to church and opens doors, if you could please make sure you're always checking the doors before you leave and making sure everything's locked up. That's a primary responsibility of being a key holder. And we want to keep our building safe. So if we can please work on that, that would be appreciated. Secondly, a member of our church has invested a lot of their personal money in purchasing cards from our CMA to have them available to us. So we would like to work hard in making sure they get their money back. Our CMA is the Religious Conference Management Association. It's the organization that has the school that we are supporting with our food drive. They primarily support farm working and low-income families, helping the children achieve their dreams. But they not only help the children, they very actively support the family as a whole. And they are always, there's never enough resources. And that's why the children have made their amazing art into greeting cards.
Something for everyone.
Yeah. And they're really cool cards. I looked at all of them the other day.
They're $1.50 a piece, or you can get a pack of 10 for $15, which is not a reduction or anything, but it's convenient to have all 10 of them. And there's one I didn't pick up, so, because there are 5 different things, but they're all quite, I love this.
Yeah, that one's super cute.
That's a handprint. It's a handprint. It's so cool.
And there are, I think there's messages on the inside too.
Yes.
Did they?
Yes.
So, yeah. All the money went straight to the school, of course, and we want to continue to support them as much as we possibly can. They're also the school that's getting directly impacted regularly by immigration at school pickup and drop-off. Families are being followed home. So, and that's why we're doing the food drive, because there's literally families who are afraid to go to the grocery stores. So, yeah, if we can support them in another way by purchasing these cards, it would be greatly appreciated. Dorothy, I know you wanted to mention the annual auction, so if you would like to come up.
Good morning. First, I want to. First, I want to thank everybody who has donated so far. I think we have like 16 items for live auction and 7 for the silent auction. And we need more. And today, people came up with ideas. I'm so excited. One thing, we have all these northerners who come here in the winter. Someone could pick them up at the airport and drop them back off. So if you can think of donate, especially a ride to the airport, I think that would be a good thing. And a dog party? Yeah, a dog party. Well, we have a dog party being offered. Yes, we do.
DAWG.
DAWG. And all kinds of things. And so please think about what you can donate. And I have a big list here to remind you. And here's the forms, and they'll be in the back here. Please donate. We need to make money for this church. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. And I have a note about calling on Adam about forming a pledge drive team.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, we are coming to the end of the year. Calendar-wise, it's the mid-year fiscally for us. We run from June to June at this church. And so at this time is when we start thinking about doing our pledge drives. It's the way that we fund ourselves, because of course we are 100% self-supported. So if you are interested in helping us run our pledge drive, or if you have any questions, come see me. Thank you.
And we are intending to start our pledge drive much, much, much earlier than last year. The year caught up with us last year, and it just didn't go as smoothly as we would have liked, but we are talking about starting it as early as the end of January this time. So we have plenty of time to hopefully meet a very aspirational budget.
Thank you.
So having said that, we're going to please check the back of, do not check the back of your order of service. Never mind. Check our e-newsletter, which is published on Mondays, for more information on other events.
Helen?
Yes, Helen.
The worship committee meeting and dinner worship on Wednesday?
Okay. Would you like to say more about that? You are the worship committee meeting.
Wednesday night at 5 o'clock here in the sanctuary will be the worship committee meeting. We try to hold it on Zoom as well, so if you'd like to participate in the meeting but can't get here, then
We open the Zoom. We're here, but we open the Zoom meeting in case anyone hops on because you can't get here, but you still want to help us plan our holiday season. We want to do fun stuff over Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and whatever else comes in there that I'm not thinking because my brain's dead. So, yeah, we want input for what you would like to see happen at those times of year. We don't want to just present you with, oh, look, enjoy this. You're going to have fun.
And then after that,
at 6:30 is dinner worship. Heather provides the rice usually, and
Ken and Dorothy provide the bean soup.
and bring something that you can eat on top of rice and share with everyone. And the conversation is the sermon for dinner worship, and Heather usually sends out some information in the newsletter.
thank you, Helen.
Judy,
When is there planned for?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday.
Oh, okay. December 3rd.
Okay, December 3rd.
If that's Wednesday.
If Judy's very good at her dates. I'm going to assume it is. So moving on, we are going to light our chalice. The flaming chalice is a symbol of this Unitarian Universalist faith. We light it each Sunday, as do UU churches around the world, to create sacred space, to connect us with one another, and to remember who we are as a people of faith. Emily, would you please do us the honor of lighting our chalice? you. Let us rise in body or spirit to sing in English and Spanish, hymn 123, Spirit of Life. And now, if any of our young ones are interested or are young at heart, it is time for Message for All Ages. Presley's excited.
Probably not, but we're going to find out. You heard me. I hear me. I hear me breathing into the mic. So it's on. You're doing a thing. All right. I'm just going to step down here like that. Step in your face. Okay. All righty. Does anybody here have superpowers?
Me.
What is your superpower? What is your superpower? Oh my goodness. Presley's superpower is to create love. Whoa. And what did you start off? Patience. But they're running thin. Okay. Did you think of your superpower? And what is it? All right, I got it already. However,
Remember, let us know.
yes, please do. Alicia Ortega has written a book entitled Gratitude is My Superpower. Gratitude. So, that is her. In that bag, you will find a small plastic bag. I will need it later.
The white one?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Hi. My name is Betsy, and I'm 7. I'm only 7. This is Mr. T. He is 7. You wouldn't know to look at him. He never seems to age. He slowly moves around the house and doesn't have a cage. One day, when I was playing with him, I suddenly felt quite sad. What's the matter, Mom said. You're usually so glad. It's Mr. T, I said to her.
think there's something wrong. To carry that big house all day, he has to be so strong. Do you think it stops him from having fun like me? I've never seen him run or jump as happy as can be. Oh, my dear, you mustn't worry. Mr. T is fine. Turtles have different needs in life. They're not like yours and mine. What kind of needs do turtles have? What do you think?
What kind of needs do turtles have?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess
knees or needs?
needs. Needs is what it says. But at any rate, the nature of a turtle is harmless, quiet, and shy. They love to hide inside their shells when people pass them by. So Mr. T is very grateful for everything he's got, which means he doesn't worry about things he has not. So he's happy with what he's got, and he doesn't think about what he doesn't have, huh? Let's play a game together, Mom said. I'll call it gratitude. It'll help you understand Mr. T. Are you in the mood? Do we want to learn about how Mr. T does gratitude? How is he happy about just what he's got and doesn't worry about what he doesn't have? Think he has a television in his shell? Maybe? Maybe. Probably uses his imagination. Okay, it's hollow. There, yeah. Yeah. Mom takes me to the garden, and just behind the flowers, picking up a stone, she says, "This has superpowers." A stone has superpowers. Can't see it there. Every time you're upset when things don't go as planned, you take out your gratitude stone and hold it in your hand. This stone will work its magic, and soon you'll begin to see everything that's happening is how it's meant to be. No sooner had we gone inside, the sky began to rain. Tears began to fill my eyes. I wanted to go out again. Remembering my special stone, I squeezed with all my might. What could I be grateful for when rain was in my sight? But just then, I remembered. Without it, what does the rain do for us? Yeah, what does the water do? Yeah. Yes. I remembered without it, plants won't grow, fish wouldn't live in the sea, and rivers wouldn't flow. Thank you, sky, for raining. You're really rather clever. Now I know the job you do, and you can rain whenever. Next morning, when it's time to wake, my body's filled with dread. Going to school is the last thing I want. I'd rather stay home instead. Beneath my pillow is my stone. I squeeze it once again, remembering the friends I'd see and my teacher. At school, I had forgotten today was sibling day. I don't have any siblings, so I didn't know what to say. My stone will have the answer, I thought. I'll squeeze it and we'll see. Of course, I said, I'm grateful because I have Mr. T. At dinner time, it worked again when Mom put down my plate. No yummy cake, but rice and veg, which I don't appreciate. But then I remembered remembered the children who aren't as lucky as me to have a healthy, warm meal cooked by their mommy. At bedtime, when I'm not tired and want to play instead, I'm grateful for my turtle PJs and warm and cozy bed. She must really like turtles. But just then I remembered, I'm not even carrying my stone. Mom, I shout. I did gratitude, and I did it on my own. Of course you did, my darling, because gratitude is in there. Upon my heart she places her hand. With the other, she strokes my hair. So gratitude in all of us, I said. And all we have to do is stop and think how thankful we are instead of feeling blue. Next day, during playtime, there is a new boy there with shiny braces on his teeth and curly light brown hair. Tears are falling down his face. He wished he had not moved. A decision made by his parents, and he had not approved. Oops. I tell him of the gratitude stone and ask if we can find something to be thankful for that he can bear in mind. He holds the stone and thinks a minute, a smile across his face. I'm thankful for our new home. The garden has so much space. Now, every time I go out, I make sure to have with me at least one stone to pass on, along with my story. Mom says, I'm grateful to have Betsy and my husband, Bob. Dad says, I'm grateful to have a family, a house, and my job. Betsy says, I'm grateful to have a lovely teacher and a Barbie doll. Mr. T, I'm grateful to live with Betsy instead of the zoo. He doesn't quite rhyme with doll, but that's okay. I guess he wouldn't have lived in the mall, would he? Okay. The more we share about gratitude, the happier we will be. Will you share this story and help other children like me? Leo says, I'm grateful. That's the boy with the braces. I'm grateful to have football boots and a soccer ball. And Alicia Ortega, who wrote this book, says, I am grateful for my little readers and their parents, too. And then this book has some things to do in the back. And they have a gratitude journal for kids. So, we are not going to have gratitude journals, but I do have stones. If you would like to choose one, I may have one for everyone.
If we don't
Perfect.
have enough, we'll get some more when we go outside.
Yes.
Everybody pick one, and if there's not enough, we'll go get some more when we go out.
And I was just wondering if anybody can tell me one person that you're grateful for. Who? Your dad.
Aww.
That's nice. Yes. You're grateful for mom. That's nice.
What's that?
Mom. Okay, another mom. Mom. Good. Mom. Mom. Is there anybody that's got their favorite food that they're grateful for? Okay. Donuts? Oh, McDonald's. McDonald's. Okay. Anybody else? Favorite food? Rotini. Hot diggity. All right. Very nice. So at any rate, I am going to pass this on to Melissa just in case she wants to look. Everybody get a stone who wanted one? Gratitude stone? Think on it. Gratitude. And how do we share gratitude? That would help. That would help. And maybe help others see what's in their life that they could be grateful for, even if it's not really what they think they want, You're thankful for your grandma. I see your shirt is thankful. It certainly is. Well, thank you all for sitting here and listening to me this morning. And now go on off with me.
If you guys would like to do joys and sorrows before you head
Oh, yeah,
off,
do you
feel
wanna
free to do
joy
so.
and sorrows first? You wanna put a stone in? We had four stones put in already.
Thank you for waiting so patiently, Presley. Here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a community of people who have arrived from many different paths, yet we seek a common goal: to bring more love to a hurting but beautiful world. We do this by building our UUCL community with our time, talents, and treasures. Our shared UU value of generosity calls us to covenant with one another that we freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources so that the dream of beloved community becomes a reality. Please help us grow into our dreams as our ushers pass the plate for our collection.
Our healing candle reading today is All the Holy Nudges That We Need by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, not yet. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that informs our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and the disenfranchisement of our people that foments our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given, the reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside with all the holy nudges that we need so we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have. that we have been given, so we may be blessed this world in the morning. Jen, would you please light our healing candle for us today? Thank you. And now, if everyone would rise in body or spirit and sing with us today an American Shaker tune with words by Joseph Brackett. It is entitled, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." And it is hymn number 16 if you have a book, or the words should be on the screen. Our ritual of the sharing of joys and sorrows is a prayerful time in which we listen to our hearts, minds, bodies, and souls to discern what it is we need in this moment of healing. This ritual allows for us to connect with our lives and deepen our faith in the understanding that we belong to one another. We are here to care for each other, and through caring, we illuminate the beauty of our interdependence. In our Joys and Sorrows book, you're able to write any significant joy or sorrow occurring in your life that you would like for the congregation to know today. And today we have Jen, who is just happy to have this community, especially when I'm struggling emotionally. Sage wrote, "Feeling extra grateful for all the opportunities I have when going into this volleyball season." All right. You go, girl. Robin Douglas is thankful for getting together with some of the UU family for Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. Tom and Marcia put on a great event, and lots of good food was brought by everyone. I was there, so I can attest to that. It was truly a family meal, or at least it felt like it for those of us who were not spending time with family that particular day. Emily, I am so very grateful for the found family I have gained through this congregation. You all make me feel so much better, just knowing you are here when the homesickness kicks in.
We love you, Emily.
Tom and Donna, it's great to be back. Yay! And it's great to have you back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And let us all remember, you are not alone, we are holding it together. Now everyone is invited to come forward for our ritual of joys and sorrows. You may take whichever stone or stones feels right to you and drop it in the bowl, connecting to others, feeling the power of being together in this community.
And Petra, if you could put stones in for those of us joining us on the social media platforms. Thank you for joining us today. And you are just as much a part of our family as anyone else. And now we're going to have a reading. It's entitled, If the Moon Came Out Only Once a Month by Kathy Ross. If the moon came out only once a month, people would appreciate it more. They'd mark it in their date books, take a walk by moonlight, notice how their bedroom window framed its silver smile. And if the moon came out just once a year, it would be a holiday with tinsel streamers tied to lampposts, stores closing early so no one has to work on Lunar Eve, travelers rushing to get home by moonlight, celebrations with champagne and cheese. Folks would stay awake till dawn to watch it turn transparent and slowly fade away. And if the moon came out randomly, the world would be on wide alert, never knowing when it might appear. Spotters scanning empty skies, weathermen on TV giving odds. A 10% chance of moonlight tonight. And when it suddenly began to rise, everyone would cry, "The moon is out." Crowds would fill the streets, jostling and pointing. Night events would be canceled. Moon closure signs posted on the doors. And if the moon rose but once a century, ascending luminous and lush on a long-awaited night, all humans on the planet would gather in huddled, whispering groups to stare in awe, dazzled by its brilliance, enchanted by its spell. Years later, they would tell their children, "Yes, I saw it once. Maybe you will live to see it too." But the moon is always with us, an old familiar face, like the mantle clock, so no one pays it much attention. Tonight, why not go outside and gaze up in wonder, especially since we have clear skies? As if you'd never seen it before, as if it were a miracle, as if you had been waiting all your life. And now we are going to have a song, "The Best Things in Life Are Free."
was really spirited. Today's message is entitled Embodying Abundance on the Path of Being Grateful for the Whole Glass by Reverend Dr. Sandra Fees. When life is going well, it's easy to speak of abundance. When we're happy, in love, employed well, and healthy, things progress with a kind of ease and sense of appreciation. But oh, those days when everything is falling apart for us, or when the world's suffering too much with us. Those days it can be hard to look around and see anything but mud puddles. Yet those are the very days, the very times that an appreciation for what we have is most needed. This approach to abundance is not about everything going right. Instead, it has to do with noticing in a new way. Consider this scenario. Life's led you into a puddle. Are you still staring at the mud-covered feet? Or are you ready to look up and notice that the wide open sky never went away? That is from Soul Matters. What does it mean to be a people of abundance in the November 2017 packet? So the point of living abundantly isn't that our feet aren't ever wet or mud-covered. It isn't that there aren't real dilemmas we face, real struggles, or that the world would be just fine if everyone just noticed that wide open sky. Embodying abundance has to do with looking around to find that sky, to see what there is of beauty and to really notice it and see it. That noticing holds the potential to be life-altering. The world won't be perfect as a result, but it will be better. This way of seeing has to do with recognizing the wide open sky is already available to us, even in those mud puddle times. Writer Heidi Barr points to this deep-seated and timeless spiritual wisdom when she asks, what if, instead of seeing poverty, despair, pain, and cruelty in the world, we saw opportunities for growth, seeds of hope, room for healing, and the sharing of compassion? What if we could truly embody abundance in every thought? That is from How Can We Embody Abundance, regardless of what we have. tinybuddha.com, Heidi Barr. When I first read that, I was alternately nodding my head yes and shaking my head no, because I feel passionately that we have an ethical responsibility to recognize and address suffering, privilege, violence, greed, and basic injustice in the world. Any consideration of living a spiritually abundant life can't ignore any of these. It just can't. And yet, Barr is naming a powerful truth. When we see and experience abundance, then our ability to share it grows. Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Angela Herrera gets at a similar idea, also emphasizing the importance of embodying and sharing abundance. She writes, abundance is not about having what you want, but about noticing what you have and multiplying it through sharing it, multiplying it through your manner of being in this world. This brings to mind a wisdom story that I return to again and again. It is the story of two men who had been injured in combat in war. Both of them were quite ill. They had to remain quiet and calm. They shared a small hospital room which had one window and one door. One man's bed was near the window. He was permitted to sit up for 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon by the window. The other man had to spend all of his time lying flat on his back. There was no television or radio, so they talked for hours and hours, sharing their life stories. And every morning and afternoon, the man sitting at the window would recount the wonders, the glory that greeted him beyond the glass. He described a beautiful park with a blue lake where ducks and swans glided along. Children threw bread to the birds and sailed model boats. Young lovers walked arm in arm beneath the full leafy trees. Beds of roses, dahlias and marigolds bloomed in bronze, gold, and crimson. In one corner of the park was a tennis court. Many days, lively tennis matches were being played. The man lying flat on his back relished these times. He found a way to appreciate what he already had. He actually lived for the morning and afternoon hours when the man sitting by the window would describe the world beyond. But then one day, he grew resentful, and the resentment festered and grew and grew. He focused on what he didn't have and wondered to himself, why should the other man get to see these incredible sights, he thought. Why should he have the bed by the window? His resentment and desire for more consumed him. Then one night, the man whose bed was by the window awoke coughing violently and choking. He tried unsuccessfully to reach the call button for the nurse. The other man didn't move. He kept his eyes closed as though sleeping. Eventually, the room was silent. In the morning, the nurses discovered the man by the window was dead. After allowing a respectable amount of time to pass, the man who had remained flat on his back asked to be moved to the bed next to the window. After he was moved and the nurses left, he hoisted himself up on one elbow. Moving caused him excruciating pain. It took all the energy he had, but he wanted just one look out that window with his very own eyes. Finally hoisted up, he peered out the window. There, before him, he saw a blank wall. That's from 100 wisdom stories from around the world. Margaret Silf edited it. Who hasn't wanted what another person has? Who hasn't ruined their own happiness by focusing on what they lack rather than what they have? Despite looking out and seeing a brick wall, one man was able to see beyond that wall, to see a vision of hope and life and beauty, and to share that vision. It isn't that he didn't see the wall. He just didn't let that wall contain him, define all of life for him. He allowed the world to come alive and to share it, to multiply it. How incredible to see through such eyes, to embrace the wide open sky. The other man, by focusing on what he didn't have, lost what brought him joy. The stories the other man told him and the companionship. The man whose bed was by the window lost his life, but so too did the other man. How different that story might have turned out had the man lying flat on his back looked for the abundance that already existed in his life. Quaker educator Parker Palmer encourages people to assume that at its core, the universe abounds with generosity and potential. He writes, "The quality of our active lives depends heavily on whether we assume a world of scarcity or a world of abundance. Do we inhabit a universe where the basic things that people need, from food and shelter to a sense of competence and of being loved, are ample in nature? Or is this a universe where such goods are in short supply, available only to those who have the power to beat everyone else to the store? The nature of our action will be heavily conditioned by the way we answer those bedrock questions. In a universe of scarcity, only people who know the arts of competing, even of making more, will be able to survive. But in a universe of abundance, acts of generosity and community become not only possible, but fruitful as well. And that is from the active life of spirituality, of work, creativity, and caring." When I heard Palmer's words, I can't help but think about how much those acts of generosity and community are needed right now. We need fruitful ways of sharing rather than stinginess and competitiveness. We need ways to reopen ourselves to beauty and gratitude, and to see not only the proverbial glass being half full, but also the whole glass. Just consider this story by Chester Bennington. He was interviewed as part of Project Human, a documentary film capturing stories of the human condition. It's a story Bennington shared about his grandfather. He said, "The magic moment I had with my grandfather was right after my grandmother died, and I went to go see him. And I knew he was hurting, but I wasn't sure what kind of state he would be in. And she was his partner 65 years as well as his driver. I went to see him, and I said, "Grandpa, how are you doing?" He said, "Did you know that for $4 I can get a shuttle anywhere in the city?" I said, "Wow, that's great, Grandpa." He said, "Well, I went to the grocery store, and I went to the woman behind the counter, and I said, 'I have this list of things. Could you help me find them? My wife has recently changed her address to heaven.'" And I said, "Grandpa, man, you always help me to see the glass half full." And he leaned back and looked me in the eyes, and he said, "It's a beautiful glass." That is an excerpt from Human, Jan Arthus Bertrand. It is a beautiful glass. Imagine being able to see the glass, to see that it's beautiful, to affirm that life is still beautiful, even after a terrible loss. This is not a Pollyanna-ish optimism. Seeing the beautiful glass does not ignore life's harsh realities. It is a fierce and heart-opening affirmation of the inherent capacity and capability of beauty and goodness and compassion and fairness in the world and in us. This outlook insists on seeking and finding the best in our lives and the lives of those around us. It invites us to embody abundance in nature, at work, or at home. Whether we are alone or in a crowd, with friends or strangers, whether in times of quiet or times when life is coming at us faster than we could ever imagine it. It invites us to embody abundance, even in those mud puddle times. As the French-Swiss poet Jean Petit-Sans wrote, "It's not what we have that constitutes our abundance, but what we appreciate." May we notice that what already exists and be grateful for it. May we learn to see the beautiful glass. May we embody abundance and come to share and multiply it with each other and the world. Amen. And blessed be.
So we're going to have a brief meditative moment. So if you want to find yourselves comfortable in your seat, closing your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And I slowly invite you to take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Imagine for a moment the mud puddles of your own life. The splashes, the heaviness, the places that feel difficult to wash clean. Now, without needing to fix anything, gently lift your gaze. Notice that even here, the sky is still wide. Beauty has not disappeared. Care has not vanished. The glass of life is still in your hands. Let yourself feel just one small thing you are grateful for, one glimmer of enoughness. Hold it softly. This too is abundance. Amen and blessed be. And now we're going to have our closing song, Give Thanks, by William Caldwell's Union Harmony. have been told it is number 69.
And these are those closing words. As we leave this time together, let us carry with us the reminder that abundance is not just something we are given, it is something we notice, something we make, something we share. It does not require that life be perfect. It does not require that we be unbroken. It asks only that we stay connected to one another, to this community, and to the deep well of care that lives within us. Gratitude is how abundance becomes visible. Hope is how abundance becomes possible. So as we turn toward the month ahead, we will not treat hope as a wish or a denial of hardship. Instead, we will treat hope the way we have treated abundance today, as a courageous act of attention, a practice of choosing to believe that more is possible when we create it together. May the gratitude we have touched here today remind us that there is still goodness to notice. May the abundance we have shared here remind us that there is still love to offer. And may the hope that awaits us next month remind us that the story is not done, that we are still shaping it with our lives, with our choices, with our care. Go gently. Go bravely. Go together. Please join me now as we extinguish our chalice. Emily, would you extinguish the chalice for us? We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
And as we focus together on the abundance and hope that we have spoken of today, I want to remind everybody that you are all loved, you are worthy, and you are blessed.